Anyway, recaps. What do you guys want to start with?
Adventure Time?
Sure. I watched it and already forgot what it was.
Don't Look is what it's called.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, the one with the eyes.
Yes, the one with the eyes.
Now I remember.
So Finn and Jake are in the library where Turtle Princess lives, and Finn finds out about some Death Mountain, or Dead Mountain. It's just called Dead Mountain.
Death Mountain is a Zelda thing.
Yeah. Did anybody notice the title card that only showed up for a split second? Did anybody see the illusion with that the title card's a skull?
Yes,
I did. Let me look.
It was really cool.
It was really quick, but I caught it and I was like, yeah! Got it!
Yeah, those title cards are...
something else. I would get an art book. I would get an art book of just the title cards.
Didn't they make that?
Oh yeah, that's dope.
I hope so. I want it.
I want it, but they keep making more episodes. They have to keep updating it.
Okay, volumes.
Oh, it's apparently an homage to a painting called All Is Vanity. Let me look that up now.
Is that the one where it's like... Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this one. I thought it was a different one they were talking about, but yeah, this one looks more, neat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking dope. That's a cool painting.
Yeah, I remember.
Guys, look at this painting.
I've seen it before. It's a really great painting.
It's really cool.
It's cool. I mean, I know that there's like some readings and that how it's kind of anti-woman, but we won't get into that.
Let's not.
Anyway, Finn finds out about a cool new place to go on an adventure. Because remember how this show is about going on cool adventures and having fun and discovering weird shit? Well, Finn did, and he's like, let's do that.
Like, here's a mountain where I'll definitely die. Let's go do it. And Jake's like, okay. And I wasn't doing anything else today. It's basically Jake's approach to a lot of stuff.
Oh, apparently the title cards can be bought on Card Network Shop as individual prints for $20.
Each?
Yep.
Some of those are worth it.
Yeah, that's
Some of those
true.
are worth it.
So they go to the mountain. It turns out to kind of be a bust. They're expecting to run into like an evil hermit dude. All they find is a skeleton and this really dilapidated yurt filled with rats and pizza, where Nicky the rat would live, I guess. And, Finn's really disappointed. He's like, this is lame. And right before they're going to leave, he takes off the sunglasses that the skeleton man was wearing, and then he unlocks the curse of the eyes. So Finn wakes up because he passes out. He now has those glass eye bulbs for his eye bulbs.
Terrifying.
Yeah. He wakes up, he sees Jake. Jake magically transforms. I mean, normally that's not a weird thing for Jake, but in this instance it was, because it wasn't what he wanted, into a Big Brother jock figure.
Did he call him Big Bro?
Yeah, he did.
Fucking Letterman jacket.
Yeah, so he's almost like the senior in your fraternity that you look up to.
No, it's more of a high school thing. It's your big brother who knows a guy who can get you alcohol for your sleepovers.
And he's got teased hair.
He's like, I think he's the guy from Archie. Wasn't there wait,
Archie?
Archie.
Archie?
That was Archie. I was trying to remember. I was confusing Dash from
Danny Phantom?
Danny Phantom, and thinking that was a different character in Archie, like the jock bully, but then I heard, no, that's who Archie was. Archie was the shithead.
That sentence is just amazing, though. Hey, who's the guy from Archie?
I'm glad I could bring you that joy. Yeah, he calls him the bestest big brother ever, and then he turns into a more humanoid, jock-looking dude, and then he calls BMO his little angel, and then BMO turns into, like...
BMO Phillips.
BMO Phillips! Turns into, like, a little guy with wings and flies out of the room. It's like, finally, I'm a real boy. And they figured out that it changes people to be what he sees them as.
Mm-hmm. So,
like, Shelby comes out and he makes him look like a bookish nerd, and Finn's like, I didn't know that's how I saw him. And, So he wears the sunglasses so he doesn't keep doing this to people. They go to Bubblegum and it's like, are you guys trying out a new look? Shrug. We don't have time to figure this out, because...
We're us. We always save it to the last second.
Yeah, so, like, Ice King's spying on her. She's like, I'm more trusted of the guy, but, like, I don't want him to, like, hurt himself.
Yeah.
Make sure he's okay. And then, like, he turns into Simon Petrikov.
And Jake is like, whoa, man.
This is, like, really big. This is big. But then, like, he sees Princess Bubblegum, and she's, like, the girl next door from a 90s sitcom.
Yeah.
No, she said it was, like, male teen heartthrob or something.
Yeah. But, like, from the 90s. Wait, I think, let me look up what this person looked like. No, not him. Okay, yeah. She was just Alex Mack.
Alex Mack, yep.
I searched Alex Mack and there's, like, this huge, gross fucking sportsman. Like, oh no!
Yeah, no, he looks like a caricature of a football.
Yeah. He doesn't look real.
So Finn feels bad, and he's like, is this how I see people? Am I just a shallow, like,
There
jerk?
was one that really fucked him up. Oh yeah, he saw Nepter, and then Nepter turned into just a microwave, and he's like, oh fuck. Oh shit.
I'm a huge wad!
And then he turned into, I guess, a wad.
Yeah.
I guess that's what a wad is. Maybe it's a real thing all this time.
It was a very real thing for me, because, like, I've had moments where, like, something in a moment of, like, honesty that I'm not even prepared for slips out. I'm like, oh shit. That's what I really think. God damn it. God, fuck! Like, that's happened to me.
Yeah. I think it happens to all of
like,
us.
It's hard to tell, like, then the rest of the episode was, like, trying to tell, like, is that really what it was, or was that something that slipped out? And it's so hard to really take that kind of self-assessment, because you've got this outside, because you're now observing it, you've got a bias as you try to really assess it.
Yeah.
They give him a pep talk.
Jake is like, oh boy, you're being hysterical. Yeah, like, and Jake has this really beautiful moment where he's like, look, dude, I know you love Nepter, and I know that's not just how you see him. You see him as a microwave because he is a microwave, but he's also other things. You can't see every aspect of a person at every moment. You know, how you view them is changing.
Like, these eyes are bullshit.
Yeah, like, even like with Starchy, he would call Starchy a new insult, and he would transmorph immediately. Like, it's just a matter of perspective, and it's a fluid thing, and it doesn't mean that's all you think about that person. And then Finn, and then, you know, Jake got a group of everybody together and was like, everybody say, what do we think about Finn, or what makes Finn Finn? And then everybody lists all his characteristics, and he's like, I'm me, and he wins the curse.
Hooray!
Hooray! I like this episode because it was like more in the heavier Adventure Time, but not too heavy. It was still fun and silly and didn't get too whack.
This is a good medium, because, like, a lot of early Adventure Time would always just sort of be like, hey, did we learn anything, man? No.
Dolphins and love with me.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but then you've got the flip side, which is just like 11 minutes of deep existential dread.
Yes!
I want to kill my dad, I want to kill my dad, I want to kill my dad. I'm singing a song about it.
And so this was a nice, I'm not going to say middle, I'm going to say leaning more towards the first one, but still with some good stuff.
Yeah, it had substance, but it wasn't too... I don't want to say up its own butt, but, like...
I mean, I didn't feel... my chest didn't feel heavier after watching it, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's
it felt
always
lighter.
A plus.
It was like, yeah. Cool.
I didn't feel like I had mental homework for the next week.
Yeah, it's like Finn was able to learn a lesson without it being a thing that we're gonna have to call back to for the rest of the season. You know,
I never want to watch like seasons like 5 and 6 with like real children.
No,
I don't want to ever have to do that.
It's like a kid looks to you, it's like, our life's meaningless and is death and inevitability. It's like, I mean, yeah, homie, but I was waiting for you to be like 15 before I dropped that bomb.
God.
Oh, man.
The next episode, called Beyond the Grotto, it says has 7 minutes of guest animation by Alex and Lindsay Small-Butera.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
They did that Clarence bit where, like, the Mushroom Samba.
Yeah, they have a little short snippet GIF promotional on their Tumblr right now. It makes me very excited. It's really cute.
They're the best at noodle arms.
Yes.
Among other things. All right. Wander is actually a very clever piece of meta-narrative, which we'll get to. But Wander and Sylvia go to... God damn it. They seek counsel from a group of people called the High Knee Council, and everything's a butt in this episode.
Everything's either a butt or a poopy.
Their heads are butts. It's all a butt or a dookie, and like they're walking past a hall. Like there's a guy named the Butler, and like all his. You never see anybody's like actual face. They're all cut off cow and chicken style. No, cow and chicken cut him off at like the knee. Never mind.
Like when they were showing the hallway of all the portraits, I was like trying to get all the jokes. I was like, train? Oh, caboose. Cow in a pie? Oh. I had
just
to pause.
Some of them were dirty.
Everything was like the most.
I think
like,
there were still a couple I didn't get.
Kindergarten, fucking, just not like. It's clever with how not clever it is.
Yeah.
Just
because it's relentless.
Yeah, it's relentless.
The episode was called Party Pooper.
Like I screamed at you guys. I was like, "No, you don't understand. You have to watch this."
Like Craig McCracken said that like it was an episode that was put on a shelf for a while. And it's not his, like, cup of tea normally. It's not the kind of thing he would normally go for. But it was a fun writer's experiment to see how far they could go and have it still work and be accepted. And they were eventually able to push it through. So this was almost the Wander that never was. This was almost a lost episode. But thankfully, we have it. And now we can forever be immersed.
This is like the child-friendly version of Mr. Poopy Butthole. But for the whole episode.
And see, the moral of the thing was, like, no matter how bad it gets, you know, remember to laugh, remember to look on the bright side, and, like, have a little fun, because you're gonna need that or else it's just gonna crush you, which is a great piece of meta-narrative, because A, you know, the show's getting very heavy with this Lord Dominator who's really, like, taking him to fuck up town every episode.
Yeah.
And also because the show's being canceled. It's pretty excellent timing. I mean, that's coincidence, but hey, it works.
And that's always been the message of Wander. It's like, you know, always find a reason to cheer yourself up or cheer someone else up. You know, smiles and sunshine can be a really wonderful, beautiful, powerful thing, even if it seems, you know, trivial. It's important.
Frivolous.
Yeah, it helps. It makes a difference.
And we also want to talk a bit about the new Powerpuff Girls reboot that dropped on my birthday. Thanks everybody for your birthday wishes. We'll get more back into that, but so we got, I believe, 6 episodes have
as of
aired.
This recording. There's more lined up.
Yeah, and actually, I saw one of them was watchable on Cartoon Network, but it's like episode 10. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, and then it was removed.
Okay,
Whoops.
yeah, that makes sense. So how do you guys feel about it? Now that we've actually seen the show in full, we've seen like full dialogue, we've seen the animation, we've seen how everything comes together. What do you guys think?
6 episodes in, I've really warmed up to it now.
Me too. I mean, there are still some
I was
things...
shaky.
Yeah, I was shaky in the beginning. I still think the girls are definitely the strongest thing. Because these 6 episodes haven't really focused much on crime fighting and villains very often. It's really just the girls. Professor Utonium is whack.
He's round.
He doesn't even look like he fits in with the other characters. Like he looks like he's
tried,
just
though?
cut out and just stuck there. And I'm like,
He doesn't look exactly the same, that they smoothed all his corners.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he's like, it's almost like he gained like 5 pounds.
Yeah. All the other characters look really weird. Like the mayor's, Miss Keene.
The mayor's the same.
The mayor's about the same. Miss Keene's a little weird because she has, because I get confused because her bob, like in the profile, they try to draw the other side of the bob, but it just looks like a thick line, and I don't know if it's her hair or like her face.
Yeah, because like I saw that, I said the exact same comment. I was so uncomfortable because I was like, her ear should be there. What?
Yeah, so it's a little.
Yeah, I think the biggest weakness of the show is that the art direction lacks focus.
Yeah, I feel that is definitely
the original show had a through and through very strong, highly geometric pop art style.
Yeah,
that
very,
has,
modern, smooth.
Consistent color scheme and everything. Whereas this is an inelegant merger of that and, your more common modern cartoon sensibilities.
Yeah.
I don't think that the middle ground is really serving anybody. I think they should have gone one or the other.
I really think so. I think they should have just we're rebooting it, we're making our own show, let's just make our own show.
Yeah, it definitely needs more art direction because it's like, and I don't even want to say I don't really enjoy saying it just they just made it look like cartoons look now, because it's but even the other cartoons have their own solid sense of unique art direction and style that they're personally going for.
There's no synergy. There's no thorough line.
Like on the Monster Island episode, those monsters did not look like they belonged in that show.
No.
They did not mesh with anything else happening there.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
But that's something that can always be ironed out in later seasons.
Yeah, and the girls do some weird things with their eyes now.
The pupil dilation thing, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm just
yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm just used to it from 5 or 6 seasons of My Little Pony at this point.
Yeah,
because that's what they do a lot.
But I think the thing that they really did nail is the personality of the girls.
I honestly think they nailed it, but also I think that because this is more of a character-driven, less 100% need to crime fighty stuff. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like they've characterized them not necessarily better, but more.
Yeah, and
or at least quicker.
Yeah, and it does seem like that's more important. The original Powerpuff Girls was very action-oriented, and it also had these sort of, wacky things.
They took their really basic personality traits and really made them more core to their characters, I noticed. Yeah. And brought it out a lot more in their dialogue and their reactions to things, especially Blossom. Blossom's
honestly, Buttercup stood out much more to me.
Blossom stood out more just because she was always I'm a bookworm and I'm so smart, but also yeah, homie, but also you're in kindergarten. You don't have to do anything. But now I think now they're in real school now.
They're at least in elementary school, yeah.
I think now they have to be in grade school now because they're all in different classes and shit. They have schedules.
Yeah,
different
they
teachers.
Have a cafeteria.
Yeah,
they're probably in first grade now.
Yeah,
I didn't consciously notice that. That's interesting.
And I guess Buttercup is in that class with Miss King because she's remedial.
But no, like Blossom was just talking about that whole dialogue of just I made this diorama and I got an A, but then everybody got an A, and if grades are meaningless, then they mean nothing.
Then I'm meaningless.
Very Hermione. The diorama log.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's the original girls did have those aspects to them. I just felt over 6 seasons we got to that point. Whereas with this, it's we know who these girls are now, so we can just hit the ground running and really focus on them as individuals. And that's kind of what the show, its marketing is trying to do more. It's really just about the girls and who they are.
Yeah.
And appealing to other girls with these personalities. More so than fighting
the crime fighting is kind of ancillary. It's something that they do when they're trying to do something else.
Yeah, one thing that I was I was a little disappointed because I was when are we going to see Bubbles and Blossom punch something?
They really haven't.
It's really only Buttercup that's been allowed to punch anything so far, so I'm kind of okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only the first couple episodes, so maybe they're just trying to establish some characters. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's partway to Teen Titans Go in that we're exploring a fundamentally different side of these characters and their world.
Mm-hmm.
Where it is more about, like, so far, this feels like latter season, in a way, like later season Powerpuff Girls, in that it is about more like the
Their
weird
daily
things
lives.
the weird things that they couldn't do in the early seasons. Like the Hangover parody episode, something like that would never have been in early Powerpuff Girls.
No.
Yeah.
No fucking way. But something like that, I think with a different tone and execution, because it was a different team, could have been in late season, like season 5 Powerpuff Girls.
They did later focus more on the girls' more domestic life and how it intersected with their superhero life. Whereas this show, it's not so much about their superhero life being a parallel to their normal life. It's like, this is just their life. And superheroing isn't like a problem. It doesn't interrupt these things. It's like...
and maybe it will in the future. Again, we've seen 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's very early impressions.
And I'm like, I like how they sort of modernized some things and like did things that they never did in the original show that would work. Like Buttercup joining like a roller derby squad.
Yeah.
Is like
I'm sure
totally...
roller derby existed then, but it was very underground.
Yeah, I mean,
there was no movie starring Ellen Page at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, all the girls had their roller skates and knee pads and stuff, but like, that's something Buttercup would do, and it's like, cool, we can do this now because we can tell more stories, so let's just do it because it's fun. And like I said, out of all the characters, Buttercup is the one that's standing out the most to me. I think that's because out of all the voices, hers is the one that's gone down the easiest for me. I
agree because, just my own impression, Blossom's voice sounds like it could be a Bubbles voice.
Yeah.
Bubbles' voice is so similar to Tara Strong, so when you do get the little bits where it's different, it's kind of uncanny.
Well, what bothers me about Bubbles' voice is the way she ends all her sentences. It's very, like, sharp. I don't know. It's a little jarring. I don't know. And then Blossom is very similar sounding, and they both just kind of have this like emphasized girliness injected into their voice.
Yeah, Blossom's a lot squeakier than she used to be.
No, Blossom was never squeaky.
No, yeah.
Bubbles was squeaky. She can be squeaky. I just don't think we need 2 squeaky people. But
Yeah.
Buttercup's voice actress is performing her almost like if she was playing a young boy in an anime. And I dig it.
Yeah, she's kind of doing her own thing in, like obviously it's inspired by E.G. Daly's initial performance, like all 3 of them are. Mm-hmm. But it has a quality to it that like she's really taking it and turning it for her own performance.
Yeah, and it feels natural, whereas the other girls it still feels a little performed. With her, I feel like she seems to have the best grip on her character and her performance than the other 2 so far. I mean, it takes a while to get there for everyone.
I don't really know what it is about me, but like I don't really have a lot of strong opinions on their performances, period. I think they do a good job, and they definitely sound similar because they're voicing a similar character, so they would cast people who can do that, who can have the same range. Mm-hmm. But I also think that they're just, they're doing their own thing enough, and I don't really... I just never really had any kind of, like, desire to really close read it at all. I guess because I already know that the rest of the internet's going to do it.
Then what are you doing on this show? That's what we do!
Yeah, like...
Well, also because I feel like the vocal performances are, like, the least important thing about this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know, like, for me, like, the voice is sort of like the last step that makes the character, so I wanted to be supportive of these new actresses, and I do really like what Buttercup's actress is doing. I think she's doing a great job. I really enjoy it. I think it's great. The other 2 girls, I still need to warm up to a bit more.
I think they're both good in a vacuum. It's just that we're comparing themselves to these amazingly accomplished actresses and legacy roles. So obviously they got a deck stacked against them. But I think that if you remove that, they're doing a fine, if not great job.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see where they go with the character as they get to play it more.
I liked in Painbow when Bubbles said yas.
Yeah, they have all that upgraded sort of lingo where she was like, yes!
And sometimes they'll have a costume for one shot.
Yeah.
It's a little more absurdist at times.
Yeah, it's just like, I just can't even. And Buttercup's like, can't even what? And Blossom's like, she just can't even.
She literally just can't even.
And I'm like, well, okay.
And then like Buttercup looks right at the screen like, can you believe these millennials, Nikki? Can you believe these Tumblr teens?
And maybe that's why I'm relating more to Buttercup, because she's just not... She's not playing the Tumblr teen game, whereas the other two are, and I'm just like, yes! But I can't wait for a Blossom-centric episode, because she was always my favorite, so I want to see what they do with her.
The one that was briefly on CartoonNetwork.com is like the other two level up, quote-unquote, after a fight, but she doesn't, and then her reconciling that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's totally something that would happen to Blossom.
Yeah.
She always gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah, she had the least centric episodes.
She did. She always did. And all her the majority of her centric episodes were all about bringing her down a peg. I always resented that as a child. I was like, why? Why? Bubbles episodes were always about bringing her up, and Blossom episodes were always about bringing her down. I guess it's just their personalities. I don't know what made.
Why do you got to do that to my favorite character, and by extension, me?
I also like that Bubbles can still speak Spanish.
Yes, I didn't understand a fucking word she said.
Well, so she was candy drunk.
I mean, she was very squeaky. But yeah, I like that they've retained their powers.
Yeah, the ice breath is in there.
But yeah.
All we need now is some squirrels.
Yeah.
Bullet.
Cheap.
With the sad, like completely sad, like cheap, like on the verge of tears, just going cheap. Anyway, that's recaps. We're gonna keep an eye on this show. I think it's definitely a little rough around the edges, but I think it's got what it takes.
Yeah, I think so. It's almost there. I feel like it's almost there to being really great.
And you do, like we said, you do have to assess it as kind of a fundamentally different thing than the original Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways, the tone, I guess the scope of it is really what's different.
Yeah, it is the scope.
Especially in early episodes, they were like kind of a unit, and they're not that in the same way here. Yeah, for sure, my favorite shout out.
Yes, please.
Was that piece of art that Blue T32 did of me, where she drew me like ludicrously sexy for my birthday.
She drew you like eyeliner on point.
You do look like that sometimes.
You do.
Only a little fatter.
Yeah, you just like eating chippy chomps too much.
And also my hair usually looks like bullshit.
Yeah. Where she did like a stylized bullshit hair.
Yeah. It was great. My mom wanted to print out a poster of it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Our mommy is like the biggest Toon Goons fan. Oh man. Let's see here.
Oh, and somebody did art for It Takes Two Heads.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was actually it was the same person. It was the same person.
It was April and Cass because they have their little show together.
Yeah.
So,
that was in our Hey Arnold episode. If you want to look up the exact bit.
Eluxkiel, they openly admit that their name is impronounceable. Oh yeah, Laura. We'll just call them Laura. Sent us a really neat email, because you know how we always talk about, like, what do kids think? Will kids get Zootopia? Will they? I don't know. And they happen to have an interesting perspective in that they're a kindergarten ESL teacher in Hong Kong. So they talk to 6-year-olds all the time, albeit in their second language, but yeah. So she observed that when she went to see Zootopia, there was a kid sitting next to her who was like 8 who just fucking died during the Nick flashback scene and was just crying. And you know how kids get when a sad thing is, and they're just like irrationally sad. I mean, I guess they're supposed to be sad, but their reaction is just like the world is ending.
Yeah, they're not ready to be done when it's over.
The reason why Cars and and Frozen are the things that they are, it really is merchandising. She even said that, like, a lot of the girls who take on second English names like to be called Elsa or Anna.
Welp.
Because they really like Frozen a lot. You know, she talks about the gender divide and how she's, like, trying to play with it and, like, try to teach the kids otherwise, but it's, you know, it's tough.
It's hard. Godspeed.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That was really informative and interesting.
We got a great email from a super fan, Lantern King.
Oh, man. I almost cried reading that.
This was so great. They said that they were on a road trip with their dad to Tennessee. It was like 2 hours drive, 2 hours back. And they're like, and our home movies episode dropped. And like, fuck it, Dad, we're listening to this podcast. And then they ended up falling asleep 30 minutes in because it was a sleepy bear.
They're a college student in animation. They don't sleep.
And they left at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But the dad listened to the whole thing, and then when they woke up, he's like, you know, I think I understand animation and what you want to do a lot better. And
what? Yeah.
Well, they understood, like, the way the industry works.
Yeah, they're like, I had no idea how much went into it. And I was, like, surprised it was the whole movies episode, really? But I guess we treat everything with such gravitas that, like... And then they talked about it, and then they listened to more episodes together.
And I listened including Inside Out, and the dad really liked my joke about the two middle school emotions, which are shitty and horny.
And apparently...
He said that my dad isn't a laugh-out-loud person, but I got him to do it, so count it.
Yeah, apparently Nikki got something to do that Lantern King hasn't gotten to do their whole life, which is make their father laugh.
Oh...
I guess I'm adopted by your dad now.
This
or maybe
is a
I'm their
beautiful
dad.
Story.
Yeah, if you make a dad laugh, you're the dad now. That's how the hierarchy works. That's why they have a whole genre of joke.
But yeah, thanks so much for sharing that story. It's like, it's so sweet. It's like, that's like the ideal thing we want to do with our show. Is make. I mean,
we've done it with our own mom.
Yeah,
our mom understands this stuff way better after listening to us talk.
I'm so happy.
Grace recommended the Layton movie, which I forgot about. I think that would be a wonderful thing to do.
Yes.
The Professor Layton.
I own it. I love it.
The Professor Layton movie, it's very good on its own right. It's also better than a couple of the games. In terms of like the actual mystery and everything.
Yeah, it's a pretty good mystery. I mean, it does have some far-fetched shit, but all the Layton mysteries have some far-fetched shit in there. It's like,
it's not the worst one. The worst one was the one with Musha, the
Loch
Ness Monster. It was a Loch Ness Monster who was there for some reason, and I don't remember anything. But it was, it was
like
for me.
The twist. It was like what explained everything. Yes! The fact that there was a Loch Ness Monster
in the lake in the back.
I love Professor Layton. Yes.
Oh, that reminds me the Phoenix Wright anime's out.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, we gotta check that out.
I need it.
Nina hangs up.
But I gotta watch Ping Pong first.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy that. But, let's see here. At Seaweed Queen asked us if we would think about talking about Long Live the Royals, because, you know, there's not that much of it out yet, and we haven't had a chance to address that phenomenon.
It was a miniseries.
Yeah.
It was a miniseries the year after Long Gone Gulch, but not Long Gone Gulch.
Someday.
Over the Garden Wall, where, you know, it was trying to, you know, ride that wake, but just made, I didn't notice any impact.
I have no idea.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But I guess it's worth checking out.
It's worth checking out. A miniseries? During finals? Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why Nikki slipped up with Long Gone Gulch was because Captain Awesome Jordan asked us if we've heard of it.
On April Fool's Day. It was on April Fool's Day.
Oh.
He was being a ding-dong.
Being a ding-dong.
Oh. We got goofed. We got spring goofed.
I think that's the only joke I fell for. Way to go.
Congrats.
Green with Envy on Tumblr said that in the UK, home movies aired on regular Cartoon Network, and they imagined it just must have been butchered.
Yeah.
Probably.
Miraculous Core Zone asked us if we were going to do Powerpuff Girls. They did mention the movie, though. And that could be a way to talk about classic Powerpuff Girls without getting too in over our heads.
Just drowned in our own selves.
Just drown and just like gushing, you know? Because that was a really good movie.
That's a good idea.
So that's actually a great idea. Thank you.
Somebody made us a really cute Harvey sculpture, which...
Yeah!
We gotta get on this fucking P.O. Box shit.
I want it.
Wait, what?
You didn't see that? We retweeted it. Or I retweeted it. Somebody made a little polymer clay Harvey sculpture because we got them to watch the show, and they're like,
"Oh,
I made this for you guys."
That was for us?
Yeah.
That's what they...
Because I just sort of glanced and thought, like, that was a tweet of, like, somebody making a thing just for, like, the crew.
No.
Of Harvey Beaks. I was like, oh, they made him a thing. Well, no, they made us a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I got April Fooled.
That's at Nortara on Twitter. We do want it, but let's set up the P.O. Box first.
Yeah.
Hold on to it, please.
Want to thank everybody for wishing Nikki happy birthday. That was really nice. Larvitar is his favorite. Tooch is Quagsire. Mine is Bulbasaur.
Yep.
I already have Tooch's happy birthday gif lined up for when it's time.
In 9 months.
In 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry we missed that. I feel bad that you're the only goon who hasn't had their birthday announced.
Like, my whateverness about it is probably what caused that to happen.
Next week, we are doing Masaaki Yuasa's Ping Pong the Animation. It's 11 episodes. The sub is all on Hulu, and then the first 2 episodes of the dub are on Hulu. I think it's behind Funimation's paywall.
Yeah, so, I didn't even know they dubbed it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do. I'm not your dad.
I know what I'm going to do. The easy thing.
And if you want to contact us, you can shoot us an email at thetoongoons@gmail.com, send us a tweet at thetoongoons on Twitter, or send us an ask at Tumblr, thetoongoons.tumblr.com. We also got SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. Just use Google. You're smart.
Facebook,
yeah. And a fan-made Reddit and Wiki.
Yeah, check those out. Help them grow. Become each other's friends.
Anything on the pipe, Tooch?
A bunch of horseshit. It's whatever.
I've got some tentative horseshit, but like, not even. I'm still under self-imposed NDA. So that's been our show. I've been Nikki.
I've been Nina.
I continue to be Tooch.
And thank you for tuning in. I forgot it.
In your case, does NDA stand for Nikki? Don't, asshole.
Oh, I'm glad you got that on tape.